Ladies and gentlemen, the world respects those who believe in themselves. But confidence, it's not born, it's built. Let me show you how. Confidence isn't magic. It's not a gift some people are born with while others live without it. Confidence is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. And just like muscles, it doesn't grow by accident. It grows through consistent effort, small victories, and smart strategies. Today, I'll share with you 5 powerful ways to build your confidence step by step. Not from theory, but from the real world, from experience, from failure, and rising again. Let me tell you the truth. When you see someone walking into a room like they own it, speaking like they've already succeeded, or smiling through tough moments, that's not natural confidence. That's earned confidence. And it's time you earn yours too. Here's how. Every person who appears confident once stood where you are, uncertain, doubtful, and afraid of taking that first step. The only difference is that they chose to act while being afraid. You don't become confident by waiting for the fear to leave. You become confident by doing the very thing that scares you while it still scares you. Confidence isn't a destination, it's a consequence. A consequence of facing your fears and walking through them anyway. And that's the first lesson in building unshakable confidence. Do what scares you every single day, even in the smallest way. Let's be honest. Fear will never fully disappear. The successful don't eliminate fear. They master their response to it. That nervous feeling in your chest before speaking up, that hesitation before taking a risk, that shaky breath before entering a room full of strangers, those are signals that you're standing at the edge of growth. You can either back away and remain where you are, or you can step forward and change your life. The choice is always yours. And the more often you choose courage over comfort, the more your confidence grows from within. Think about the last time you avoided something because it felt intimidating. Maybe it was a conversation you didn't initiate, a question you didn't ask, or an opportunity you let slip because you doubted your ability. Those moments may feel like self-protection, but in reality they're small betrayals of your own potential. Confidence doesn't grow in hiding. It grows in exposure, in those moments when you face the fear, stumble, sweat, and maybe even fail, but you come out stronger for having tried. The good news is you don't have to start with something big. The most powerful confidence is built in small, daily acts of bravery. You don't need to speak on a stage to become courageous. Start by sharing an opinion in a group. You don't need to run a marathon to believe in yourself. Start by walking 1 mile when you don't feel like it. The key is to make discomfort your ally. When you wake up in the morning, ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today that scares me just a little? Then do it. Every time you take that step, your brain takes note. I can trust myself. I can do hard things. And that belief is the seed of confidence. In the beginning, your voice might shake. You might get rejected. You might feel exposed. But the outcome is never as important as the act of doing. When you show up despite fear, you prove to yourself that you're bigger than your emotions. That's a powerful shift, because the moment you stop avoiding fear, it stops controlling you. And when fear loses its grip, confidence rises to take its place. Look at the most confident people in your life. I promise you, they've had countless moments of fear. The only reason they walk boldly now is because they've walked nervously before. They've made the call, sent the email, stepped on the stage, even when they were unsure. And with every repetition, they silence the voice of doubt just a little more. Confidence isn't built in your comfort zone. It's built in the trenches, in the awkward moments, in the embarrassing first tries. It's built when you mess up but show up again. That's where real power comes from. Eventually, something incredible happens. The thing that once terrified you becomes your new normal. You start seeking challenges instead of avoiding them. You begin to crave discomfort, because you understand that growth lives there. You speak without rehearsing every word. You act without overthinking every consequence. You begin to trust that even if things don't go perfectly, you can handle it. And that belief turns into unshakable confidence. Not a loud, arrogant kind, but a calm inner strength that others can feel the moment you enter a room. You don't need to wait for some magical moment when fear disappears. You already have what you need. You have the ability to act. And every day you have a choice: shrink from the things that scare you or lean into them. The confident version of you is not some faraway fantasy. It's the result of tiny brave moments repeated over time. It starts today. It starts now. It starts with the very thing you're afraid to do. because on the other side of fear is the person you were always meant to become. There's something incredibly powerful about being really good at one thing. It doesn't matter whether it's speaking, writing, solving problems, selling products, or creating content. When you master one skill deeply, you start to carry yourself differently. You begin to walk with more certainty, speak with more clarity, and handle challenges with a steady mind. That's the kind of confidence the world respects, because it's not based on empty hype or fake positivity. It's rooted in real capability. And that's the second key to building unshakable confidence. Choose one skill and become so good at it that no one can ignore you. In today's world, it's easy to get distracted. People jump from one thing to another, trying to be good at everything and ending up great at nothing. But real confidence comes from depth, not surface. When you master one thing, even just one, you give yourself a rock to stand on. You may not know everything, but you know this. You have something you can lean on when things get uncertain. That knowledge becomes your strength, your edge, your identity. When you begin to focus on mastering a single skill, something amazing happens. You start making progress, and progress builds belief. The first time you do something right, even a small thing, your brain lights up. It says, I did that. Then you do it again, but better. And slowly you start believing in your own ability to grow. It's not just about learning the skill, it's about seeing yourself become someone new. That transformation builds deep, lasting confidence, far more powerful than any motivational quote or external praise. Let's say you choose public speaking. In the beginning, you'll stumble, you'll feel awkward, maybe you'll forget your words or get rejected by an audience, but each attempt makes you stronger. You study the craft, you watch great speakers. You practice late at night, reading books and recording yourself, until one day your words flow, your message connects, and you feel alive in front of that crowd. That moment doesn't come from wishing or hoping, it comes from obsession, repetition, and focus. And when it comes, it changes you forever. Mastery is not about being better than others. It's about being better than you were yesterday. It's about narrowing your attention and pouring your energy into growth, even when it's boring or frustrating. Confidence doesn't just appear, it rises through challenge, discipline, and patience. When you choose a skill and commit to it, you prove to yourself that you're capable of long-term success. That proof builds a quiet, unshakable confidence that others can't help but notice. More importantly, mastery builds credibility. People listen to those who have clearly done the work. When you walk into a room and you're the best at what you do, you don't need to prove anything with words. Your skill speaks for you. Your results become your introduction. People begin to trust you, follow you, and respect your input, not because of your confidence, but because of your competence. And that in turn reinforces your belief in yourself. There's also a deeper gift in mastering one thing. You start to carry that confidence into other areas of life. Once you've seen yourself become excellent at one thing, your mind begins to say, if I did it once, I can do it again. That belief spreads like wildfire. It doesn't mean you'll never doubt yourself again, but now you have evidence to fight the doubt. You have experience to lean on. You've built something real inside you that failure can't take away. So how do you start? Begin with curiosity. What skill excites you, challenges you, or could change your future if you mastered it? Once you decide, commit to it with everything you have. Study it, practice it, break it down, make it part of your daily life, remove distractions, and stop comparing yourself to others. Focus on improvement, not perfection, and most importantly, don't quit when it gets hard, because that's the moment confidence is being built in you, brick by brick. Confidence doesn't come from pretending. It comes from preparing, from putting in the hours when no one is watching, from failing and fixing, from showing up even when results are slow. One day you'll look back and realize you no longer hope you're good. You know you are. That knowing will radiate through your voice, your posture, your presence, and no one can take it from you because you earned it through mastery. There's a kind of confidence that doesn't show up loudly, but lives quietly inside you. It's the confidence that whispers, I've got this, even when things get hard. It doesn't come from applause or validation or outside recognition. It comes from one simple but powerful habit: Keeping promises to yourself. That's the third key to building unshakable confidence. Become someone you can trust. When you consistently do what you said you'd do, especially when no one else is watching, you build a foundation of inner strength that no one can shake. Most people don't realize it, but every time they break a promise to themselves, whether it's skipping a workout, hitting snooze on an early alarm, or procrastinating on something important, they're sending a silent message to their own mind. I can't count on me. And that message adds up. Over time, your brain starts believing it. It starts questioning every goal you set, every decision you make. Doubt creeps in, not because you aren't capable, but because your own history tells you not to believe in yourself. But the opposite is also true, and far more powerful. When you tell yourself you're going to do something, and then you follow through, you prove to your own subconscious that you're someone who shows up, someone who honors their word. That builds trust, and trust is the root of real confidence. It's like a bank account. Every time you follow through, you make a deposit. Every time you break your word, you make a withdrawal. You don't need to be perfect, but the goal is to have more deposits than withdrawals, more wins than excuses. Start small. Don't try to keep 10 promises at once. Choose one. Something simple. Wake up at the time you said you would. Drink water in the morning. Read 10 pages of a book each night. Whatever it is, make sure it's achievable and specific. And then keep it. No matter how you feel, no matter how tired you are. Because the goal isn't the task itself. It's training your mind to believe your own voice again. Confidence comes from being in alignment with yourself. When your words, your thoughts, and your actions all match, you feel powerful. You walk taller. You stop second-guessing yourself because deep down, you know you're the kind of person who follows through. That inner integrity is magnetic. People can feel it even if they can't explain it. They see it in the way you move, speak, and lead. That's the confidence that matters, not the loud kind, but the reliable kind. Think of the times you've been disappointed in yourself. Chances are they weren't moments of failure, but moments where you didn't show up for yourself. Maybe you said, this is the year I change, or I'm going to start tomorrow, and then you didn't. The shame that follows isn't because others saw it, it's because you saw it. You were there when the promise was made, and you were there when it was broken. But here's the truth. You can repair that trust. You can rebuild that belief. One small action at a time. And once you start keeping promises to yourself, something incredible happens. You stop needing approval. You stop chasing validation because you're no longer trying to prove anything to anyone. You've already proven it to yourself. You don't need to fake confidence because you've earned it. You've lived it. You've built it through discipline, patience, and honesty with yourself. It's also important to be kind to yourself when you slip. You're human. You'll mess up. But the difference between those who build lasting confidence and those who don't is what they do after a failure. Do you give up or do you reset, recommit, and keep moving? The confident don't avoid mistakes. They just refuse to let mistakes define them. They know one broken promise doesn't destroy all the others. So when you fall short, forgive yourself, but don't forget the lesson. Get back up and keep showing up. You don't need to shout your goals to the world. You don't need a vision board or a big audience. You just need one quiet decision. I'm going to do what I said I'd do, and then do it again and again until your actions are louder than your doubts, until your track record becomes your testimony, until confidence isn't something you try to have, it's something you naturally carry. Confidence isn't built in a single moment. It's built in 1,000 small choices, in the way you wake up, the way you train, the way you show up to the commitments no one else sees. Keep those promises, and one day you'll look in the mirror and realize you've become someone truly powerful, not because the world said so, but because you said so, and you followed through. Look around and notice something subtle but true. The people you spend time with shape how you see yourself. They influence your confidence, your thoughts, your beliefs, even your energy. That's why the fourth key to building unshakable confidence is this: surround yourself with builders, not breakers. The right people will breathe belief into you. The wrong people will drain it out of you like air from a balloon. And if you don't protect your environment, you'll never grow beyond its limits. When you're on a journey to build confidence, You're already fighting an internal battle against fear, self-doubt, past failures, and limiting beliefs. The last thing you need is to fight the people around you too. If your circle laughs when you try something new, questions your every move, or constantly reminds you of your weaknesses, your confidence won't survive for long. You'll start shrinking, second-guessing, playing small, not because you're weak, but because your environment made you believe you weren't enough. But when you're around builders, everything changes. Builders are the people who see the potential in you even when you don't. They support your dreams, challenge you to grow, and celebrate your wins, no matter how small. They tell you the truth, but with love, not judgment. They don't compete with you. They push you forward. With builders around you, your courage increases. You start to believe, maybe I really can do this. And belief, repeated often enough, becomes confidence. Think about a plant. Even the strongest seed won't grow in toxic soil. It needs the right sunlight, water, and protection from weeds. You're no different. Your mind needs nourishment too. Encouragement, challenge, honesty, positivity, that comes from your surroundings. You might be the most talented person in the room, but if the people around you keep reminding you of your flaws, your light will dim. Confidence cannot thrive where you are constantly torn down. Now, let's be clear. Builders aren't always the loudest cheerleaders. Sometimes they're quiet mentors, friends who give you space to grow, or colleagues who challenge you to think bigger. Their presence isn't always flashy, but it's powerful. You feel safe to be yourself around them. You feel inspired to do better. You feel stronger after every conversation. That's the environment where confidence grows effortlessly, like fire catching dry wood. But finding builders isn't always easy. Sometimes the people closest to you, family, old friends, even co-workers, might be the ones unknowingly holding you back. They may mean well, but their own fears project onto you. They say things like, be realistic, or don't get your hopes up, or that's not for people like us. And slowly, without realizing it, you start lowering your standards. You play it safe. You stop dreaming. Not because you want to, but because you're surrounded by breakers. That's why one of the bravest decisions you'll ever make is to audit your circle. Ask yourself, who makes me feel alive? Who makes me feel small? Who do I want to become, and are the people around me helping me get there or holding me back? Sometimes confidence means having difficult conversations. It means setting boundaries. It means choosing solitude over toxicity. Because silence with self-belief is better than noise that tears you apart. But don't just cut people off, start attracting the right ones. When you commit to growth, when you live with purpose, when you speak your truth without apology, you'll start finding others who do the same. Like energy attracts like energy. Join communities, seek mentors, follow people who inspire you, read their books, watch their content, surround your mind with voices that lift you up, even if they're not physically near you. In time, your reality will shift to match the new standard you've set. And here's the most powerful part. When you surround yourself with builders long enough, you become one too. You start lifting others, seeing their potential, giving them courage when they have none. Your confidence, once fragile and small, becomes a force that empowers others. That's the ultimate goal. Not just to build confidence for yourself, but to become the kind of person who spreads it everywhere you go. So, protect your environment. Choose your circle. Like your life depends on it, because it does. You don't have to be the loudest or the smartest, but you do need to be surrounded by people who believe in growth, in truth, in possibility. Because in that kind of space, your confidence won't just survive, it will soar.